Time. Before it was measured, before it was written, before it was owned, time simply existed. In the earliest days of humanity, there were no clocks, no calendars, no alarms. Life moved according to the sky. When the sun rose, humans woke. When it set, they rested. Light meant safety. Darkness meant danger. Early humans did not count hours. They counted survival. They watched shadows stretch across the ground, slowly and silently. They noticed that mornings felt different from afternoons. They noticed that the sun never stood still. It moved, always moving. At night, humans looked upward. The stars became companions in the darkness. Patterns appeared. The same stars returned, night after night. Seasons changed. Cold replaced warmth. Warmth returned again. Time was not measured. It was felt. But as tribes became villages, and villages became civilizations, feeling time was no longer enough. Crops needed planning. Trade needed coordination. Religious rituals needed precision. Humanity needed order. And so began the human obsession with controlling time. The first true attempt was simple, a stick in the ground. As the sun moved across the sky, the stick cast a shadow. The shadow moved, slowly, predictably. This was the birth of the sundial. In ancient Egypt, stone sundials stood under the burning sun. Priests and scholars divided the day into parts: morning labor, midday rest. Evening prayer. For the first time, the day had structure. Cities began to organize themselves around these shadows. Time became something visible, something shareable. But the sundial had a fatal flaw. It depended on the sun. When clouds covered the sky, time vanished. At night, the sundial became meaningless stone. Darkness returned humanity to uncertainty. So humans searched for time in another form. Water. Water flows. It moves steadily. It does not stop for night. Ancient engineers designed vessels where water dripped from one container to another. Marks on the side showed how much time had passed. These were the water clocks, clepsydras. They worked in darkness. They worked indoors. They worked while the sun slept. Egyptians used them in temples. Greeks used them in courts. Chinese scholars refined them with incredible precision. For the first time, time flowed even at night. But water was imperfect. Cold slowed it. Heat sped it up. Water evaporated. Water froze. Time was still unstable. Human creativity pushed forward again. Fire became the next clock. Candles marked with lines burned slowly. As wax melted, time disappeared with it. In China, incense clocks released scent as time passed, allowing even the blind to sense the hour. Fire brought warmth and light, but it also brought danger. Wind changed burn rates. Humidity altered speed. Fire could not be trusted completely. Then came sand, the hourglass. 2 glass bulbs, 1 narrow neck, sand flowing endlessly downward. Simple, elegant, reliable. Hourglasses traveled the world. Sailors used them on ships to measure watches at sea. Merchants used them in markets. Monks used them in prayer. But hourglasses had limits. They measured moments, not days. As societies grew louder, faster, and larger, humanity demanded something greater, something mechanical. In medieval Europe, massive machines began to rise. Mechanical clocks. Driven by gears, weights, and escapements, these clocks lived inside towers. Their bells rang across towns. Time was no longer private. Time was public. Work hours were announced. Prayer times were enforced. Life became synchronized. But these early clocks were clumsy. They lost minutes every day. They drifted. Accuracy was still a dream. Until a swinging idea changed history. The pendulum. With each perfect swing, time stabilized. Seconds became measurable. Science accelerated. Christian Huygens refined the pendulum clock, bringing accuracy humanity had never known before. Time became reliable. But the greatest challenge still remained: the sea. Sailors could calculate latitude by the stars, but longitude remained deadly mystery. Ships vanished. Lives were lost. The answer was time. To know longitude, sailors needed a clock that never lied. even on stormy seas. John Harrison devoted his life to this problem. Decades passed, failures piled up, but he did not stop. Finally, the marine chronometer was born, a clock so precise it could guide ships across oceans. Time saved lives. Time built empires. As engineering advanced, clocks grew smaller, from towers to walls to pockets. Pocket watches became symbols of wealth and discipline. People carried time with them. Then war reshaped time again. In the chaos of World War I, soldiers needed instant access to time. Pocket watches moved to wrists. The wristwatch was born. Personal, practical, permanent. Then electricity entered the story. Quartz crystals vibrated at precise frequencies. Accuracy reached unimaginable levels. Clocks became cheap, small, and incredibly reliable. Digital displays replaced ticking hands. Atomic clocks measured time using the vibration of atoms themselves. Time was now measured to billionths of a second. And today, smartwatches sit on our wrists, tracking movement, tracking health, tracking life. Cities race forward. Deadlines tighten. Every second feels urgent. We invented clocks to control time, but somewhere along the way, time began controlling us, from shadows on stone to atoms vibrating in silence. The clock shaped civilization, and as the seconds continue to pass, we must ask ourselves, are we using time wisely, or are we running out of it? This is everyday innovation, because every ordinary object has an extraordinary story.